you're being lied to and probably somewhat manipulated, because photographers really don't make a lot. I say that because I've watched those same videos, and unfortunately there's just something universally gratifying about writing 100K or $250,000 in a thumbnail. But the thing is, you watching this right now and me recording this right now, we're not going to be making life-changing amounts of money year after year just for clicking a damn shutter button. Some photographers did, and very few still do, but that level is as rare, if not more rare, than being a professional athlete. It's being a Hollywood superstar. It's like Jordan and not even Pippen. I want you to be reasonable with yourself and your expectations in this video, and I want to show you how incredible the photography journey really is, even if you're not Michelle Kwan. At least not yet. All right, enough with the weird analogies. Let's get into it. Taking on photography as a business is an uphill battle from the start. It means you want to take a universally loved hobby made incredibly simple by the advent of the smartphone, and then overcomplicate the shit out of it while asking for money in the process. When other creatives talk about making 200 grand by sending out cold emails, I'm always just left shaking my head. Like, dude, you're delusional. You're a one-man band here in photography, at least for the first decade of your career. So that means you have to make all those emails, the treatments. You schedule and reschedule every shoot because, let's face it, getting two people in a room together is always the hardest part of any meeting. And then you actually got to do the work, edit it, return it, and start all over again. So even at $1,000 a shoot, you need 200 shooting days pre-tax to even come close to that. If that sounds like you, I want to know your secrets of time management. If you work twice a week with 2 brand new clients, that's already a really good week. So to think you'll book 4 shoots a week with interested and willing clientele that don't either have a cousin who can do it for cheaper or an established regular that they will shoot with always, it's delusional thinking. There's no 10% callback rule. There's not even a 1% callback guarantee. You can send out as many emails as you want and nobody owes you shit. Every potential client takes time. They take patience and probably a little bit of luck too. Do you like receiving cold emails? Exactly, nobody does. Booking a shoot is not a matter of telling people you exist. This isn't a buyer's market. There's a million of us photographers and businesses, wedding clients, tourism agencies. They'll go with the lowest bidder, or at least the smallest headache. Booking a shoot that's more than a couple $100 for someone is gonna cost you money. And even more importantly, it's gonna cost you time. If you wanna book a high-paying client, you have to make them feel as unique as they really are, find genuine interest in them and their brand, and then take that time to build out a treatment that looks identical to what they might need. Clients aren't creative. That's our job to do. So don't expect them to know what you can do without explicitly showing them what you can do. Your potential wedding client doesn't give 2 shits about your car photography. And the ice cream restaurant you want to work with couldn't care less that you've shot blonde girls on a rooftop. It's not about cold emailing and just changing the names in the header. To make it personable for every client you pitch, you have to send them a series of images of your vision for their brand. That's how you hook, line, and sell them. And that really does work, but it doesn't work 200 times a year. There's only so many hours in a week. There's only so much energy we can give. But don't get stuck believing in this idea that you can't take skills from smaller sets and apply them to bigger shoots. If you don't do that, that's a you problem, not a flaw in the business. Nobody's gonna trust you on a large set with 10 different people looking at your images and judging them as you take them if you've never even hired an assistant or collaborated with a small team before. It's a bit of a catch-22 because we know there's no real ceiling in this art form, but there's definitely a floor, which is 0. The average photographer who paid taxes in Canada last year made $41,800, about 31,000 US, and that's pre-tax. Now, I don't know about you, but that number is pretty damn sobering if you compare it to the videos you might be seeing on this platform. But it's not all bad, I promise. Unless you're some breakout prodigy star, or you're, David Beckham's son, you won't be making 6 figures just because you understand high-speed sync. Of course, this is just an average. And sure, that means a lot for regular jobs, but unlike most other jobs, the photographers around you might not be making anywhere near that same salary as you are. And what I mean is, your teachers growing up, they all pretty much made the same salary from one to the next, give or take a little bit of seniority. But Joe Blow, the photographer that you despise and that he never posts on Instagram, might actually be making that 200 grand. Whereas the trendy photographer that posts every day and hashtags always grinding might not be making $5 from their efforts. I'm not saying that if you're not seeing results, you're not working hard enough. But photography allows us the ability to work for as much or as little as we want. What's the lifestyle you're trying to live? Do you value waking up to sunrise? Having a nice coffee and walking the dog without any stress every morning? Because photography allows you to live that life that you want. It allows you to be a full-time hobbyist, so to speak. But the cake you're having is probably just a generic Black Forest from the grocery store. Now, the most important takeaway of being a photographer is the lifestyle that it awards you. What's important to you? What do you value in your life? Is work a vocation or is it a means to an end? A regular job takes your time and pays you in dollars. Photography gives you time and pays you in, well, exposure for the first little while. And then your first bonus is probably called anxiety and your holiday bonus is going to be called self-doubt. But of all the commodities in the world, there's none that I value more than time. Time to think, time to wake up slowly in the morning and make an espresso, cuddle the dog. Time to deal with that anxiety and that self-doubt. And, time to be available. My dad would often tell me when I first started out this career path, Sergio, why don't you just get a job and do this photography stuff on the weekends? And, the simple answer is that there is no weekends in photography. Even if I don't shoot for a month, I was probably working every single day that month. There's so much to do when running your own business that the shooting part, the part with a camera in your hands, that's just the payoff. That's the end goal. When you're scheduling with a client who also runs a business, do you think that business owner wants to come in on a Sunday to shoot with you because you've got a 9 to 5? No, of course not. They've got families and shit to do too. The very vast majority of my shoots happen right in the middle of the day, right on a weekday, because that's when businesses and business owners are available. Of course, if you're a wedding photographer, like shy of maybe Indian weddings taking up the whole week, you'll only be shooting Saturdays and Sundays. But if you have a full season, you better find some time during that week to cull all those thousands of photos and edit them and back them up and tweak them and all that, or else you'll get buried real fast. I want my everyday to prioritize my peace of mind, or at least as much as I can. I want the ability to be flexible, to spend some quality time with the pup, to go do errands during the work week so I never wait in long lines at Costco, to not have a commute and never be stuck in traffic, make my own hours and take off if I need to. I've never had a problem working at odd hours of the night. I'm very task focused, so why be forced to work a 9 to 5 for someone else's gain, when really I'd rather just finish my tasks as I see fit. Those are those benefits that photography awards me. The life around it is why I value this career path so much. So what do you value in your job? And what do you get out of your job that you wouldn't from photography? Maybe some stability, maybe a different level of peace of mind. To me, I've always felt more at ease banking on myself than relying on whatever employer I have to hopefully stay in business. Shit can always hit the fan, but at least when the going gets tough, I'm not relying on anyone else but myself to get by. That may be scary to some, or maybe it's exactly what you're looking for. Photography awards us that. It awards us the ability to step out of the rat race and choose what really matters in our lives. To me, it's time. What's in it for you? Anyway, thanks for sticking around, guys. I hope you book another client before we see each other again. I'll see you next week. Later.